Hello and welcome to day 79 of the current lockdown. I was just about to put some essential oil blend called Motivate on me. I'm feeling quite tired today, and this blend has got a blend of citrus oils, vanilla and peppermint, and I think rosemary as well, and it's very energizing. So I've just rolled it into the middle of my hand. Just gonna rub my hands together and then take a couple of deep breaths. Really helps to energize me and wake me up a little bit. It's middle of the afternoon now, and I must admit I'm feeling a little bit tired. So it is day 79. We're in week 12 of the lockdown. I can't believe we've completed 11 weeks of this lockdown. It's Wednesday today, so I think week 12 officially started yesterday. It is 12 weeks since the last time I saw somebody outside my family. Apart from going shopping and the post office and that kind of thing, I haven't seen any friends for 12 weeks. The last time I saw a friend was on the 16th of March, and that was the last time I went to a pub as well. I met up with a friend and we spent the morning knitting, and we had lunch, and that's 12 weeks ago, 12 weeks and 2 days ago. So yeah, I can't quite believe this lockdown's been going on for this long. When it started, I thought it might go on for a month at the most, 3 to 4 weeks at the most. And at the moment, it just doesn't feel like there's an end in sight. So things are starting to open up here in the UK. Non-essential shops are allowed to open on Monday. I don't know how many shops will actually open. They have to comply with quite strict social distancing measures, limiting the number of people in the shop. There's been things on the telly about, closed shops. Can you try things on? Are you allowed to touch things? And it looks like a lot of closed shops will not have changing rooms open, so you can go in and buy something, take it home, try it on. If it doesn't fit, take it back, and then they have to quarantine it for a certain number of days before they can put it back on display. I also don't know how this is going to affect yarn shops. I did see a newsletter for one yarn shop last week who's planning to open next week, and some of their kind of new rules. A lot of yarn shops in the UK are quite small. Shop premises in the UK are quite expensive, so most yarn shops are quite small shops, and they don't have a lot of space, and most people coming into yarn shops like to touch everything. I spend a lot of time teaching in yarn shops, so I see people walking around touching nearly every ball of yarn there is in the shop. And I guess most yarn shop owners are going to encourage people to touch less and spend less time in the shop. Because, there's times when I'm teaching when I've seen people in a shop probably for an hour, or maybe even more. I've certainly spent an hour in a yarn shop before. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many yarn shops actually open. There's talk in the UK now about pubs and restaurants being able to open outside terraces and beer gardens and stuff in July, I think. I don't know, the government seem to be changing their mind quite frequently, so till things actually happen, I don't really take things for granted. As a family, even though we are now allowed to see other people, you're allowed to meet friends in groups of up to 6 people outside, as long as you keep 2-meter distance. We've not really done that as a family. We've still kept ourselves mainly to our family unit, because the infection levels are still fairly high in the UK. In the southwest where we live, in the Cornwall, it's fairly low. In the wider southwest, it's a little bit higher, but down here in Cornwall, we're in the far southwest of England, the infection numbers are still fairly low. So I don't feel particularly worried about catching it down here, but I still prefer to keep social contact to a minimum, really. So, but yeah, I've been doing a lot of knitting, so I'll show you what I've been knitting. I'm working on a sweater. I'm glad I started this sweater because I was considering not starting it because I was waiting for some yarn to arrive for 2 new projects for magazine designs. I'm still waiting for one of those lot of yarns to arrive. Deadline was actually yesterday, I think, but a lot of the magazines are having problems with photography at the moment, so the deadline's been extended. The yarn's not here yet. So I decided last week to cast on this, beginning of last week, to cast on this sweater, and I'm glad I did, because I had that's up to the underarm. So it's knitted in the round to the underarm, and that's up to the underarm. Then I put the stitches for the front on hold, and then I'm working on the back. So I've done about that much, about 5 centimeters past the underarm. So I cast on, I added the stitches for the sleeves. Now I do have 2 videos up so far on YouTube. The first one is talking about the design process when I started designing this sweater, and I did kind of like a follow-up video showing how I mock blocked it to check that the size was coming out what I was expecting. So they are on my YouTube channel. So yeah, I'm quite enjoying this. It's a fairly easy lace pattern to knit. I was enjoying it more when I was knitting in the round. I have quite a lot of stitches now, so the pole rows are quite long, but I'm still trying to work on it a little bit every day. I feel like since I got to the underarm, it seems to have slowed down a lot. I don't feel like I've made that much progress, but I am still trying to knit on it. And then I'm working on a sweater for a magazine design, and because it is for a magazine, I can't really show you too much, but let me show you the wrong side. So it has got some colour work on the yoke. I've just got to, let me see if I can show you without showing the details. So I've got that much done below the yoke. So you knit the yoke first, and then when you get to the underarm, you divide the stitches for the front and back on one needle, and then put the stitches for the sleeves on hold. So I'm knitting the body first, and then I'll knit the sleeves later. So you can see the stitches for the sleeves are here on hold on a piece of waste yarn. Whoops, nearly showed you the colour work there. Sometimes I leave them on the cable of an interchangeable needle, but I decided to put them on a waste yarn because I find that more comfortable to knit with, really. And at the moment I've just started the waist shaping. So one little tip that I wanted to share was I need to do, I think it is 6 waist decreases, so 6 rounds with a few plain rounds in between where I'm going to be decreasing for the waist. And I can keep track of the shaping. I can tick it on a piece of paper, I can just count it, I can go back and check and actually count it from my stocking stitch. It's not that difficult, but I do quite often use these stitch markers, these padlock markers, when I'm shaping, and I'll just put one of these in for each decrease, because that way at any time I can just look at it and I can see, so I can just look at it and I can see that I've done 2 lots of decreases. So when I get a bit further down, instead of going back and trying to count it, I can just take a quick look and I can immediately see how many decreases I've done, and I just find that a lot easier. A little bit lazy, but just makes it easier to see what I need to do and how far I've got. So I'm quite enjoying knitting on that at the moment. I'm just on the plain stocking stitch bit, so it's just loads of knitting in the round, so it's fairly easy. So I'm mainly knitting on that in the evening. I'm trying to knit on the lace sweater during the day, and then knit on the stocking stitch sweater in the evening, because I do struggle a little bit with my glasses in the evening to see my knitting. I really need to wear my reading glasses. But if I wear my reading glasses, I can't see the television. So if I'm watching telly and knitting at the same time, it's a little bit of a nuisance. So I do quite often knit on my lace knitting during the day, and then this one, because it's just stocking stitch now, I do that in the evening, because I can knit stocking stitch in the dark, really. So that's what's on my needles at the moment. I have also been doing a little bit. I spent one evening, I think it might have been Sunday evening, one evening where I was working on the crochet blanket, my giant granny square crochet blanket. It is nearly finished. I had a look at the size. It's going to be kind of like a lap blanket, really. So when I'm sitting in the winter in the evening knitting in my chair and it gets a bit chilly, I wanted to kind of go from like my chest under my arms down to the end of my feet, really, when I'm sitting down. So I'm nearly at that point. I do have quite a bit of yarn left. I probably have at least 2 full 100-gram skeins left and a few smaller amounts. So I don't know whether I'll keep knitting till I work up all the yarn, or whether keep crocheting till I use up all the yarn, or whether I'll finish earlier. I'm not quite decided. When I was working on it the other day, I did decide I would just do a couple of more rounds and then I'd finish. But I'm also thinking maybe I should just use up all the yarn, so we'll see. But I had decided this week that maybe I will try and sort of do like half an hour every evening on it, but I haven't touched it since Sunday. So main reason I did it that evening was because it was a bit chilly and I could basically put the blanket over me while I was working on it. But yeah, I am getting to a point where I really want to finish it now. And then I've also been doing a lot of work on my new online class. It's Wednesday today, I think, and I'm hoping to press the publish button on the new online course on Friday. I'm just going through all the lessons at the moment and just watching through the videos and reading through all the proofreading the content for the final time, and just watching all the videos to make it a bit quicker. The videos are between 5 minutes and 20 minutes long. There's quite a few of them, and so I'm putting the speed onto 1.5 times, so it's a little bit quicker, but it is a bit weird to listen to myself talk that fast. I talk fast normally without being speeded up, but I just read through the course's subtitles. So I just want to read through the subtitles, and a couple of the 2 lessons I've read through or watched through today, I found some mistakes in the subtitles, so I had to go back and edit the subtitles, which is a bit time consuming. So I had hoped to finish all the proofreading and checking it today, but I haven't, so I'm going to have to try and finish that tomorrow. But I'm determined to finish it by Friday, so I can hit publish on Friday. So I will give you all the details when it's ready. There will be a launch discount, so if you want to make sure you don't miss out, go to my website and sign up to my newsletter, and you will get the launch discount when I launch it. Also this weekend, it's the Knit Tea Retreat virtual weekend. They have had to cancel their Stratford upon Avon retreat. Not sure whether it was supposed to be this month or next month, but they've had to cancel it anyway. I was teaching at the Knit Tea Retreat in Cardiff last October and the October before, and it was a really lovely event. All the people who took part were really nice, and we finished on the Sunday afternoon with a marketplace, and I had a stall there, of course. So everyone who's had a stall at previous events, and all the teachers who had stalls, I think, have been invited to take part in a virtual retreat this weekend. So the marketplace will be on Sunday. So I'll put the link below this video to their website where you can get all the details. And I'll have a couple of special offers, especially for this weekend. Details will be in my newsletter as well on Friday, so make sure you sign up. I'll share details on social media as well if you missed the newsletter. Right, so that's it for today, I think. I hope you're doing well. Tell me what the situation are where you live. If you're not in the UK, are you still in lockdown? Have you moved out of lockdown? One slightly depressing thing is we were due to go on holiday to Portugal 2 weeks from today, and we actually decided a few weeks ago that we definitely wouldn't be going. We cancelled our Airbnb accommodation in May because we'd already paid about 60% of it, and we had to pay the final amount. So we cancelled that, but we hadn't cancelled our flights, because if we cancelled them, we would have had to accept a voucher. So we've been waiting for EasyJet to cancel them so we can get a refund. And our outbound flight has now been cancelled, but not our homebound flights. So our return flights have not been cancelled. So I'm going to have to try and see if I can get a refund from EasyJet now for both flights. That's my next job after doing this, actually. Yeah, I wanted to get to Lisbon since I was a teenager, and we're finally doing it. So I am a little bit depressed that it won't be happening, but hopefully we can go next year instead. Problem is, we were going to go, all 4 of us. Emily turned 21 last year and I turned 50, and it was meant to be a trip last year to celebrate our birthdays. Simon turned 50 and Vanessa turned 21 in the same year, and we had a week in Budapest and it was really lovely. So for my birthday and Emily's birthday, as they fell in the same year as well, we decided we'd go to Lisbon. Excuse me. we decided we'd go to Lisbon, but we didn't get around to booking it last year. So we were determined to go this year, and we booked it months ago, and now we can't go. So I'm a bit depressed about that, but hopefully we can go next year. Whether we'll be able to go with the girls next year is a different question, because Emily's going back to university in September to study medicine. So we don't know what about her school holidays and stuff next year. So we'll see. Anyway, hopefully we'll be able to have a holiday later in the year instead. Anyway, I hope you're okay, and are you keeping safe, washing your hands, knitting, and looking after yourself. And I'll see you next time.